Hi, and welcome to the Orland Park Public Library's Teen Art and Science Club. Today we're going to be doing easy stroke painting, so that falls under the art category. And we're going to be making some different designs that are pretty easy, and we're going to show you all the tricks and exactly how to do them. So what you're going to need for this project, you're going to need some paper. Any kind will do. You're going to need some kind of plate or bowl to put your paints on. You're going to want a nice big area to put your paint on, because we're going to be using different colors at the same time. So nice big plate of some sort. You are going to need flat brushes. The size doesn't matter, it's just going to kind of affect how big your final design is going to be. I'm probably going to be using more of a medium size brush, but you guys can experiment and use whatever kind you want. I also recommend having some smaller tip brushes handy, that way you can touch up anything you want to. And there's a few spots where we're going to need to use the smaller brushes to make either a tree branch or to dot the eyes on our characters that we're making. So have teeny tiny brushes available too. You're going to need some water to wash your brushes off, because we are going to be using multiple colors and we are going to be doing a few different designs. You're going to want to wash your brushes off in between. You're going to need some paper towels in case of a mess, or to dry off your brushes in between each project you do. And you're going to need a variety of colors of acrylic paints. I'm going to show you what projects we're going to be doing today, and you can decide what colors you want to use for them. Our first project that we're going to be doing, we're going to be making evergreen branches. I would say use browns, whites, and greens for this one. Our second project that we're going to be doing, we're going to be experimenting with making leaves. So a couple different colored greens are what you're going to need for this one. Unless you want to get crazy and do your leaves in different colors, that's fine as well. Just make sure they're two shades of the same color. So 2 greens, 2 different kinds of reds, 2 different kinds of blues, whatever color you choose. Just make sure they're 2 shades of the same color. Our next one is going to be, we're going to be making butterflies. I did mine in blue, and I'll probably be doing them in blue for this one too. But you need 2 different colored blues and a white. Actually, I would almost say 3 different colored blues, because I did the outline in a darker blue. So that's what we're doing for that one. And this one, you can do in any color you want. So if you want to make a pink one, a purple one, whatever color, again, just make sure you have different shades of the same color. Unless you want to get crazy and mix it up and do different colors, you can try that too. All these pictures that we're doing today are kind of experimental on your side. You can mix and match. I'm going to show you the technique on how to do them, and you can play around and see what works best for you. And the last one we're going to be doing, we're going to be trying out making some dolphins. For my dolphin in this one, I used yellow, orange, there's a little bit of pink in there, and purple. You can try out whatever colors you want. I was trying to make mine kind of look like a sunset. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to pick my colors when I get there and see what happens. So again, this one is a choose your own color one, so you can do what I do in the video or pick your own. So now that we know what we're doing, and now that you know what you need, pause this video and grab all your materials, get them all ready to go, and I'll see you in a second when we start our first picture, which is going to be the tree branches. See you in a moment. Hi again. Alright, so we are getting ready to make our tree branches, and these were our examples. The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need a brown branch. And for my colors for this project, I chose just your regular brown, I chose grass green, and I chose just your regular white. on my plate, this is how I set them up. I have my brown separate, and then I put my green and my white right next to each other. This is because when we make the green part of our picture, so all of our little branches here, we're going to dunk our paintbrush in both colors at once to get that kind of cool snowy branch look. So, but first we need a branch. I'm going to take a small tipped brush, dip it in my paint, and I am going to just make my branch. And branches usually get thinner as they get towards the end. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to make this have a couple little branches coming off of it too. So I'm going to put one right here. And it's okay if you goof up or if you're not super happy with your branches. They're going to pretty much get covered up anyway. I'm going to put one down here. Alright, so we've pretty much got our branch. We want to rinse off our brush. Now at this point, if you want to get kind of fancy, you can take your branch and add a little bit of touch of white around it to make it look like the branch already has a little bit of snow on it before you do the green part. For mine right now, for my example, I'm not going to add the white onto it. But if you want to experiment and try it out, go for it. So, how we do the green and white part. We need our paint, and I've got my medium-sized flat brush, and I am going to dunk it in both colors at once. And I'm going to get both sides of my paintbrush. Now, to get the effect where it's not too thick on our thing, what I did is I took my paintbrush and just kind of dabbed it off to the side first to get some of the color. So I'm going to do that on this one on my scrap paper here. I'm just going to kind of go just to get some of the extra paint off before I start on my picture here. So, just like with our painting, our example, the white's on the outside and the green's on the inside. So take your brush that's been dunked in both colors, make sure your green's on the inside, and just dab, 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 all the way up to the top. And then go around the other side, and go dab, 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 all the way down. And as your paintbrush gets a little bit less painty, your little dabs, your strokes, are going to kind of start looking more and more tree-like. So just keep going on your branches. And if you're using a different size brush, so if you're not using your medium-sized brush, if you're using a smaller one or a bigger one, you might be getting a little bit of a different effect. But just keep dabbing on each one of your branches. Go around the outside. You know, my white's not showing up as well as it could on this because it's kind of a light shade of gray paper. And don't be afraid to go back over past branches if you want to add more to it. Go for it. This is your project. You know, if you mess up the first one on any of these, try it again and see what happens. It's all experimenting. It's all just for fun. So this is how my evergreen branch turned out this time. I hope yours turned out awesome as well. If you feel like showing them off, you know, bring them in and show us here at the library or post them down below in the comments. We'd love to see your work. So that was our evergreen branch and our first experiment in easy stroke painting. It was kind of more of a dab, but you know. So let's move on to number 2, our second one, which is going to be our tree leaves. Let me set up and I'll see you in a second. Alright, we are back and all ready for our second picture, which we're going to be trying to do. We're going to try to make dual color leaves. This one is a little bit harder than the last one. It takes a little bit of practice, so don't worry if you mess it up. Just keep trying. You're going to need your paper like last time. You're going to need 2 shades of the same color. So I picked 2 greens. This time I am using this is Apple Tart, and I am using olive green. So a darker green and a lighter green, because I want that kind of cool blend going on. To put them on the plate, I put them right next to each other again, just like that. And I'm going to use my medium brush again. Gotta make sure my brush is flat and not all goofy. And then I have my teeny tiny brush again, so I can get the detail of this line that goes down the middle. So like the vine, or there's always a stem that kind of goes through the leaves. So that's what we're going to need the teeny tiny brush for in the end. So, like I said, it's okay to mess up. We're just practicing. And as you do more and more of these, it's going to get easier and easier. So, for a leaf, we're going to get some of the dark blue and the light green on our brush at the same time, just like with our evergreen branch. So we have green, both greens on our brush. We are going to go and make the round part of our leaf first. So that's our big part down here. And we're going to take our brush, go up, and as we're going, we're going to twist our brush to make it turn into a thin line at the top. So right now we kind of have a glob. If you need to, don't be afraid to take your brush and go about and try and even things out a little bit if you want. If you're not happy with it, go right next to it and try it again. We're going to make the bigger round part. And as we're going up, we're going to go whoosh and make it a thin part. And I don't know that I like that one, which is absolutely okay. We're going to take our little teeny tiny brush. And with our teeny tiny brush, we can go through and kind of shape things a little bit more of how we want it to look. And we can make our stem go right through the middle. My teeny tiny one's kind of funky looking, but that's okay. We're going to go right through the middle. So different kinds of leaves. So I would say keep practicing this one. This is kind of going to give you that simple brush stroke that you're going to need on the next two, which get a little bit harder. So we want bigger round part at the bottom, go up, twist our brush to make a skinny line. Then we can take our teeny tiny brush, go through, and create the stem. And we can do any little touch-ups we want. So that's the easy, simple stroke on how to make a leaf. Oops. All right. So practice that a little bit. Once you think you've got that down pat, we're going to move on to our third one, which is our butterfly. So I'm going to get ready for that one, and I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Hi again, we're back. So now we're all set up to do our butterfly. For this one, I'm again going to use my medium brush because I like this one. But you're free to try whatever size brush you want. And I also have my teeny tiny brush again for some details. For my paint colors, I am using a navy blue, I am using a bright blue, and I'm using white. Whoops. Alright, and our finished product should look like these guys. So we're working on making the butterflies. So remember that stroke that you practiced with the leaves? We're going to use that again to make the wings of the butterfly. So I put my bright blue and my white next to each other. And I put my dark blue off to the side there because that's going to be my detail color. So I made it far enough away so it doesn't mix. We're going to dunk our brushes in both the blue and the white at the same time again. Just like before. And it's okay if you have a little bit more of one color than the other. It all blends together and looks kind of cool in the end anyway. Push that off to the side. So we're going to make our first wing a little bit bigger than the second. The blue or whatever color you choose. For this one you can do any kind of shading color that you want. I'm choosing blue. So we're going to put the darker color on the outside. And we're going to put our brush down, kind of go around. Instead of going and making a skinny part at this point, we're going to go all the way around and go back down and kind of make a crazy circle there. So that's our top wing. We need a bottom wing though too. So we're going to go down here and we're going to make a smaller one of those kind of circles. Same brush, same colors. And just go like that. So we've got the basic part of the wings done. If yours turned out a little bit different, that's cool. It's okay. You're experimenting, you're trying things out. It's all good. So now we need to take the darker color. So if you did a different color than blue, your darkest color, so if you did greens, you want your darkest green on the outside right now. If you did blues, if you did purples, whatever, the darkest shade is going to be your outside color. So we're going to take some dark blue and we're going to kind of outline our wings while it's still wet and give it that extra point to give it the butterfly shape. And we're going to go down the middle because there are two pieces here. And we're going to go around that second one. And we're going to give that one a point as well. So butterfly wings usually have different things going on the inside. So we're going to give it some, some format, some bump kind of looking things, some wing pieces on the inside. So we're just going to kind of go and give it kind of a little wing type looking thing here. And give it another one. And it's okay if it's not turning out perfect. And we're going to do the same thing with this bottom one down here. I'm kind of going to give them both a little bit of a roundedness here. So it's got some shape, some substance going on there. And then we need the butterfly body. So this part is the easiest. It's just a bunch of dots or big circles. So we're going to make some circles and we're going to make them smaller as we're going down. And then the head of the butterfly is going to be the biggest. And of course, the butterfly needs some antennas, so we're just going to go whoosh. we've got a butterfly. The more you practice, the better your butterflies are going to get. Experiment in different colors with this one. We'd love to see your work and how it turns out. So like I said, if you paint them, bring them in and show us, or tag us on social media with your pictures, or post them in the comments below. This was our example butterflies. Now this is the one we made today. I'd say they're pretty close. I think we did a good job. All right. So keep practicing with that one. Make sure you got those strokes down. And next we're going to be doing the dolphin. I am going to take a moment to set up for that one, and I'll see you in a few seconds. All right, welcome back. Are you ready to do the dolphin? So this is what he's going to look like in the end. I'm choosing to use the same colors again that I did in my example. So I've got purple, I've got bright pink, I've got orange, and I've got bright yellow. For this one, feel free to use whatever colors you want. Experiment. Like I said, for mine, I was kind of trying to make him look like a sunset or a sunrise. So that's why I picked the colors I did. I kind of lost the pink in my example here though, so I'm hoping I do a better job this time. Let's see what happens. For my brush, I chose to use one that's a little bit bigger because this has 4 different colors we have to use. So when you pour your paint, you don't want to do something like this. It's too much paint. Your brush isn't going to hit all 4 colors. You want to do something more like this, where if I put my brush on it, it's going to hit all 4 colors at once. So it should work. If you put too much paint down at first, you can always just move to another part of your plate and put little tiny dots instead of bigger dots. It's all an experiment. And it's meant to just be fun. So try it out and see what happens. So let's dunk this paintbrush and see if we can make a dolphin. I'm going to make sure that I get all of the colors. Get both sides of my paintbrush. Said it's okay if there's a little bit more on one side than the other of a color. So with our dolphin, he starts out skinny, gets bigger, and then we kind of need this head that goes down more towards his nose. We're going to worry about the tail and the fins afterwards. So let's see if we can get the body first. I did the darker color on the bottom, and I think I'm going to stick with that for this one. So I'm going to just put the tip down because we need to start small and go up, and then as we go up, his body is going to get bigger and curve around and twist your paintbrush because we got the nose kind of like that. I know it doesn't look perfect right now, but that's why we have that teeny tiny brush to help us fix our dolphin and give him some details. So your big brush, you can put off to the side. You're not going to need it right now. We're going to go back and take our teeny tiny brush. Make sure each time you are washing your brush to dry it off before you use it and make sure it's extra clean. I almost forgot to dry my brush off there. Alright, so my guy's back got a little bit wonky here. So I'm going to take, looks like the pink part got a little wonky. So take a little bit of pink paint and just touch that up a little bit. And it looks like the orange. And it's okay if you mix paint on your brush right now because his body is all mixed up anyway. And we're just touching up. I'm going to touch up a little bit of the orange there, give him more of a little bit of a rounder back. And we're going to fix his bottom of his nose here to make it a little bit rounder. So it's starting to look a little bit more like a dolphin. We need a fin though. So for his bottom fin down here, I'm going to use the teeny tiny brush. And since purple is at the bottom, I'm just going to use a bit of purple. we're gonna, give him that regular dolphin fin or dolphin tail, just kind of using triangles that have a little bit of a round end to them. Oops, sorry there, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. So, we have our tail done. So, dolphins usually have a teeny tiny fin over here, so we can give him his little teeny tiny fin. Add it in, make sure you match the color of that bottom stripe. Now what we're missing is that very top fin. My guy has yellow along the top here, so I am going to use yellow to make my top fin. So we're just gonna go. Again, it's just kind of like your simple triangle, the round tip. You can make it as big or as small as you want. If you want to, because my guy is yellow and orange there, you can even try and mix a little bit of orange into his fin to get that kind of same effect that he's got going on in his body. But it's up to you. So you've got this dolphin pretty much done. He's got his body, he's got his fins. What he's missing is a face. Sorry, just touching up that little bump there. So, what you can do, you can either use paint, or once he's all dry, you can take a marker and give him a face. I think I am just going to use a little bit of paint. What I've got, I would normally use black, but I've just got navy blue here. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint on my plate. And I'm just going to put a little bit there and give him a eye. And then give him a mouth. And we have created a dolphin. To recap what we did today, we made evergreen branches. We practiced making leaves. We made some awesome butterflies. And we made some awesome dolphins. So we'd love to see your artwork. Bring it in, post it, do whatever you gotta do to show us. We really want to see what you guys came up with. Share this video with friends and, see if you can create these things online together or create them together with your family at home. Just remember to social distance. And next month for our science and art club, we will be learning about dyeing different clothes using fruits and vegetables. So did you know that you could dye cloth using strawberries? Well, we're going to show you how and what it looks like when you're all done. So join us next month, and we can't wait to see you then.